Hi lovely people, I'm Debs. Welcome back to my channel, Raina Reads Stuff. I'm here in the Book Shack and it's time for part 2 of Confessions of an Unashamed Book Thief. So, anyone who saw part 1 will know that after 8 years of my father's library sitting idle since his death, I have decided to raid it. I bought 14 books back with me last time, which was over Christmas. And this time, this weekend, we popped down to see a family for a delayed Boxing Day because everybody had flu. And I've bought another dozen books back. So I'm going to show you what they are. I'm very excited. First up, True Ghost Stories from World War I and World War II. This is... Most of these seem rather short. This is a Bounty Books edition, first published in 2005. It doesn't say who it's edited by, but there are numerous, pages and pages of very short stories, true ghost stories from World War I and World War II that I am very much looking forward to dipping into and may actually read at the next what was it called? Ghosts of Christmas Past event, which I'm hoping will happen in December. Second up, books 2 and 3, I've got a couple of Neville Shute books. I've got Pied Piper. Is this illustrated? No. Oh, it's got lovely pages. Pied Piper by Neville Shute, which was presented to Judith, I think that says Dontin, from Kingsman House in July 1959. It doesn't say why. It's a nice little look. It's a nice little certificate in there. And then I've never heard of this one. It's called Beyond the Black Stump. And in Australia, Beyond the Black Stump means out into the outback, out into the wilderness. This one, I don't know when this one is from. It's a Heinemann book. And it was published in 1956. Then we have, look at this, the Illustrated Peeps. This is edited by Robert Latham and is extracts from the diary of Samuel Pepys. When it says illustrated, it has illustrations like this in there, but then it also has colour plates like this. I have actually wanted to read Pepys for quite a while, but I didn't fancy working my way through the whole of his diaries. So I think we'll start with the edited version, and then if I enjoy that, we'll get to the boring bits. Book number 5 is a 1943 edition of The Complete Poems of Rupert Brooke. That apparently was his signature. tiny little thin pages in this, you know, the really thin paper. I've read some Rupert Brooke, but that alleges to be the complete version. And then we have, I couldn't resist this, absolutely couldn't resist this. This belonged to Wendy Brazier, who in 1968 was 9 years old. But it appears to be much older than that. It was presented to Charles Stock at Christmas 1915 from St. Paul's Sunday School in Camden Square. And this is very appropriate for me as I live in Nottingham. This is Tales of Robin Hood by S. Percy. It's got tissue paper in it and pretty pictures. This is obviously destined for children, but even so, it's a Robin Hood book, and so I felt I should have it. Oh, it looks as though there was a sticker in the back there as well, but that's been ripped out, and we have illustrated covers, front and back. Okay, so we're halfway through. My dad was a big science fiction fan. So this is withdrawn from Hampshire libraries. Azazel? Isaac Asimov. This is fantasy stories, apparently. It's dedicated to Sheila Williams, who was the managing editor of Asimov's science fiction magazine. And these appear to be short stories. It says it's a devilish collection of stories. And it follows our beleaguered Mr. Bitternut and the adventures of Azazel or Azazel. Now we're getting to the really good ones. I have a oh, the word escapes me. What are they called? Folio Society, that's what they're called. I have a Folio Society edition of Barchester Towers. I read the Warden during Victober, so this is the next up. This looks rather nice. Fable editions, Folio Society editions always do. There are a limited number of illustrations in here. It does have a tear on the front of it, but looking at it, I think I can fix that. So let's put it back in the box so I don't damage it anymore. Then we have non-fiction. This is a biography of Alexander the Great by Paul Cartledge. The Hunt for a New Past. Paul Cartledge was apparently Professor of Greek History in the Faculty of Classics at Cambridge, and a fellow of Clare College. This one came out. Oh, look, it's signed. That's rather nice. This was published in 2004. And now we get to the ones that I am most pleased with. The Sunday Strand. This is a facsimile of the Sunday Strand. This was can't be an original one, can it? It's the Sunday Strand and Home magazine, an illustrated family monthly. This is volume 17, which goes from January to June 1908. Do you know what I think this is? There's no other publication date in here. But this is great. I mean, look. Around the World in 70 Days with a camera. What else do we have? We have a story called My Lady of Shadows. Who's that by? John Oxenham. And it's illustrated by E.F. Skinner. The House at the Corner. This is by E.M. Jameson and illustrated by E.S. Hardy. Look at these, they're lovely. Now, on the same theme, and very timely, look at these beautiful golden, whatever you call it. What do you call it when you put colour on the outside? This is a reproduction of the original illustrated Sherlock Holmes. How appropriate. Holmes is Where the Heart is just coming up. This includes The Adventures of Sherlock Holmes, The Memoirs of Sherlock Holmes, The Return of Sherlock Holmes, and those are all short story collections, and The Hound of the Baskervilles, reproduced from the original publication in the Strand magazine with the classic illustrations by Sidney Paget. Now, I am pretty sure that I was watching Alan at Alan's Reads the other day, and I think he had this, but these illustrations are fab. Look at those. And like I say, with Holmes is Where the Heart is in February, it seemed like quite an appropriate time to steal this one. I'm pleased with that. I'm pleased with all of them because, let's face it, I wouldn't have stolen them if I wasn't pleased with them. But you might be counting, that's only 11. The last one is this, Metal at Woomera. It's by James McNeill. It was published in 1958. It looks as though it previously belonged to a school. You know, you've got people signing the book out. The fly cover is a bit boogered, but again, I think I can fix this. Now, oh no, it's not McNeill, it's McNell, James McNell. This, why am I excited about this? You may well ask. The reason I'm excited about this is because that's where we used to live. This is a boy's adventure, and it is about a Captain Metal of the special services in the Navy and he is sent to Woomera in Australia, where we used to live. And the reason he's sent there is to check out the rocket range there, because things are going awry. Now, the rocket range in Woomera is where my dad used to work as part of the European Space Programme. He was a rocket engineer. He's obviously picked this up because we didn't go to Woomera. I mean, the last time this book was taken out by a child at school was in 1963. We weren't in Woomera until 1968, I think. So he's obviously found this somewhere and was excited by it, just as I am excited by it. I've read the first chapter. It's truly dreadful, truly dreadful. We have leading stoker mechanic Aloysius O'Flaherty, known as Engines because of his devotion to the engine room. Chief Petty Officer Victor Patrick Hogan is known as Hooky because he's only got one hand and the other has been replaced with a hook. This is proper gung-ho boys' adventure. Not long, only just over a decade after the end of the Second World War. It promises to be a very antiquated and boys' own annual type of read. And I think it's fabulous. Anyway, that's it. 12 books stolen from my father's library. Once again, no shame whatsoever. I wonder what part 3 will bring. Thank you for stopping by. It's always lovely to speak to you, and I do appreciate your time. If you know anything about any of these books, let me know, and I'll speak to you again soon. Bye for now.